This is Alicent of the venerable and respected House Hightower. She is known as the Dowager Queen, the Queen in Chains, and in HBO's House of the Dragon, she'll be played by both Olivia Cooke and Emily Carey. And we really think you should get to know Alicent Hightower. I'm Ken Knapsack for Casterly Talk, and we're taking you up to the start of the House of the Dragon series. But keep in mind, some of the information here could be spoilers. If you want to support us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell like you're taunting Cersei Lannister, which is not a good move. Alicent was born in 88 AC to Otto Hightower, the man who would serve as hand of the king to 3 kings in his lifetime. Her mother remains unknown, so either Otto ain't talking or somehow midichlorians were involved. Alicent would go on to marry King VISERYS I after his first wife, Aemma, passed away, and she had 4 children with him: Aegon II, Helaena, Aemond, and Daeron. And all of them would go on to play key roles in the Targaryen Civil War, known as the Dance of the Dragons. Seriously, HBO has a plethora of great characters and stories to get to in this series. Alicent is a key figure in the Dance of the Dragons, one of the most important, with her son Aegon II's claim to the throne being central to her cause and the war. But before the realm gets torn apart by those dancing dragons, let's go back a bit. Alicent was raised among the scheming elite of King's Landing after accompanying her father to court at age 13. At a very young age, she became a favorite of King Jaehaerys I, spending hours at his bedside during his final years, feeding him, reading to him, and taking care of him as his health failed. So close were they that he often mistook her for his own daughter, Sarah. Jaehaerys passed away in 103 AC as Alicent was reading to him, making it, for this world at least, one of the sweeter moments in the lore. She married VISERYS I 3 years later in 106 AC, bringing the powerful Hightower family and their strong Old Town ties to the Faith of the Seven even closer to the throne. Alicent was also very close to her eventual stepdaughter, Rhaenyra Targaryen. I mean, they were just 2 peas in a pod, best of friends, sisters from other misters, which is sometimes hard to say when Targaryens are around. I bet they remained lifelong friends, right, until the end of time. No, of course not. Tension started to mount when Rhaenyra remained Viserys' chosen heir, despite Alicent's 4 children, 3 of which were strong, capable sons ready to slide into that throne if called upon. With the support of her father and those aligned behind her, the Greens, based on the dress she wore to the 111 AC tournament in King's Landing on her 5th wedding anniversary, Alicent has designs on putting her son Aegon II on the throne. Now, if that all sounds a little simple, yeah, it is. These dragons have a lot of dancing to do, and Alicent is at the center of it all. Olivia Cooke, who'll be playing the older version of Alicent, described herself as very much the opposite of Alicent, telling Variety, "I'm a staunch feminist." To play someone who, to put it mildly, believes in tradition and has been molded and groomed by her father to be a pawn in his political ambitions strikes a similar chord to that of Cersei Lannister herself. Now, that doesn't necessarily cast her as a villain in this tale, but it does make one think of wine, scheming, and revenge for any wrongs done to her and her family. Cooke also described Alicent as being an anxious rule follower as opposed to the more free-spirited and mischievous Rhaenyra, setting them both far apart in this battle for the Iron Throne. While the Cersei comparisons and talk of Alicent being a traditionalist standing in the way of another woman's potentially historic rise to the Iron Throne seemingly sets Alicent up as the main antagonist in this story, Emily Carey, who plays the teenage version, had some insightful words on the subject. They told the folks at Hey You Guys that spending time with the character in her formative years will show who, what, and why she was pushed into being the so-called angry woman that Alicent is sometimes written off as. So, what themes will Alicent Hightower represent in this show? Well, fire and blood is at the heart of this story, but loyalty and blood will be key to Alicent. Is her duty to her blood, her father, her house, and of course her children? Or are her loyalties to the realm and her husband the king? Will these dueling responsibilities tear her apart or push her to break from what she has been told to be so she can finally get what she and she alone wants? Let's tune in to find out.